All right, let's just jump right in. We are going to talk about writing lyrics. Not just any lyrics, but the kind that really, truly connect with people. It's a whole journey, from that first tiny spark of an idea all the way to crafting something that feels real.
Ugh, the blank page. We've all been there, right? You're just staring at it, that blinking cursor just mocking you. It's the most universal starting point for any songwriter, from a total beginner to a seasoned pro. So the big question is, where on earth do you even start? And this is exactly why it's so important. I love this quote from songwriter Rushton Loring. Songwriting is a blank slate for all of it. The pain, the joy, the shame, all of it. It's not just about making a catchy tune, it can be like therapy. It's a way to take all the messy, complicated stuff of life and turn it into something beautiful. Okay, so that first spark, how do we find it? Let's get practical here. It doesn't have to be this big, dramatic moment of inspiration, like a lightning bolt from the sky. A lot of the time, the best way to just get moving is to give yourself a simple little starting point. Now, this might sound a little weird, but hear me out. Sometimes the best way to unlock your creativity is to box yourself in a little. Give yourself some rules. These prompts are a perfect example. Like, try to write a love song, but you're not allowed to use the word love. Suddenly, you have to get creative, right? You're forced to show it instead of just saying it. It pushes you past all the easy, obvious stuff. So, prompts are a fantastic starting point. But if you really want to dig deep and find something truly original, you got to move past just ideas. You have to get into the physical world. And the key to that? Your senses. What you see, what you hear, what you can smell, taste, and touch. Okay, so check this out. This is a super powerful exercise from Pat Patterson. This guy taught songwriters like John Mayer, so he knows his stuff. It's called sense writing. The rules are dead simple. You find a random prompt, set a timer for 10 minutes, and you just write. And the key is you're not trying to write lyrics. Nope. You're just exploring a memory using all 5 senses. No editing, no rhyming, just pure description. The whole point is to generate that raw sensory stuff you can pull from later. And look what happens. From a super simple prompt like whistle, the writer pulls out this entire memory. And notice the details. It's not just the sound, it's the taste of seaweed on the fingers. Wow, and that line about a tongue curled like Elvis's hair? Come on, that's pure gold. This is the kind of stuff you can mine for amazing lyrics. All right, so you've got your spark, you've done the sense rating thing, and you have all this raw material. Now what? How do you actually shape all that into a killer lyric? This is where the craft really comes into play. This might be the most important rule of them all. Seriously, say what you mean. Don't just say what rhymes. Your message, your story, that's king. It is so easy to get caught chasing a rhyme and end up twisting your words into something that sounds, well, a little cheesy and not quite what you meant. Focus on the meaning first. Get that right, then worry about making it rhyme. But what happens when what you're trying to say feels kind of cliche? Oh man, this is the big trap, isn't it? We've all heard these lines a million times. Heck, we've probably all written them. You feel something totally genuine, but the first words that pop into your head are just overused. You know the ones I'm talking about, like broken heart or side by side? And the classic, all night long. Look, the feelings behind them are real, but the phrases themselves are just tired. The real challenge, the art, is to say that universal thing in a way that feels totally fresh and specific to you. Okay, so we have ideas, we're starting to get some lyrics down. Now we need somewhere to put them. Every song needs a blueprint, a structure to guide the listener through the whole story. You know that classic debate, what comes first, the music or the lyrics? Well, the argument here is that maybe neither does. Most of the time, what really comes first is the idea, the theme. The music and the lyrics are both just there to serve that one central concept. They're like 2 wings on the same bird, working together. And these blueprints, these song structures, they're different all over the world. A lot of us are used to that verse, chorus thing. The verse tells the story, the chorus slams home the main idea. But then you look at, say, a typical Hindi film song. You've got the mukra, which is like the face of the song, the main hook, and the antara, which is like the verse. They do similar jobs, but the feel, the flow is totally different. It's just a great reminder that there's no single right way to build a song. And speaking of different structures, that brings us right to the modern songwriter's toolkit. which, let's be real, is more global and packed with tech than ever before. We've got stuff like AI that can help break through creative blocks, and we can collaborate with people across cultures and languages like never before.
Yeah, let's talk about AI for a second. It's a fascinating and, let's be honest, complicated creative partner. On the one hand, it can be amazing for just getting you unstuck or helping you brainstorm a new style. But on the other hand, it kind of hits a wall. I mean, an AI has never had its heart broken. It's never felt pure joy. It can only imitate what it's read. So the trick is to think of it as a really, really smart tool, but it's not a replacement for your own human experience. Never. And that human element, that's everything, especially when you're crossing language barriers. This story from the legendary singer Udit Narayan is incredible. He talks about when A.R. Rahman asked him to sing in Tamil. His first thought was, no way, I can't do that. But his method for learning wasn't just about the sounds of the words. He said he listened, and he put the meaning in his mind. He connected with the core emotion. And that just proves that the heart of a song can smash through any language barrier. So, we've covered a lot, right? We've talked about prompts, using your senses, song structure, even modern tools like AI. But to really tie all this together, I want to look back, way back, to a master from the 14th century who understood the most important principle of all. This guy here is the poet Vidyapati. His nickname was the Cuckoo of Mithila. How cool is that? They said his poetry was so sweet, it was like he was ushering in a new spring for literature in that part of India. He was so groundbreaking, so innovative for his time, that they gave him this amazing title, Abhinava Jayadeva. It basically means a modern Jayadeva, comparing him to this other legendary poet, but also saying, hey, this guy is something totally new. So what was it? What did he do that was so revolutionary? And this right here is the whole point. This is the heart of everything we've been talking about. See, back then, all the important poetry was written in Sanskrit, the formal academic language that only the scholars knew. But Vidyapati, he made a radical choice. He wrote his poems in Maithili, the everyday language that people actually spoke in his region. He chose the real, authentic voice of the people over the stuffy language of the elite. He chose to connect. So think about it. From a simple 10-minute writing exercise all the way back to a 14th century poet, the goal is exactly the same. It's always been about connection. It's about using the voice you actually have to tell the stories you actually know. So you've got the tools, you've got the history. The only question left is, what story is your voice going to tell?